of a tree, saying that, babe.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Softball Edition, and my guest for this week's show is none other than sophomore pitcher on the Menlo College softball team, Victoria Cervantes. Victoria, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. Now, I want to begin by talking about your favorite sports teams. Now, you're a SoCal native, so I'm not surprised to see the Padres and the LA Lakers on your list of favorite teams, but the Oakland Raiders? Where did that come from?
I know it sounds kind of weird being from San Diego. You would think I'd be a Chargers fan. But growing up, that's who I watched. My dad was always a Raiders fan since he was little. And so I guess it's just from there. I just kind of always loved watching them. So that was my team. I
take it he was probably a fan of the Los Angeles Raiders. Is that my guess?
Oakland.
No, he was a fan of the Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That really doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I don't know. I guess just when he started watching, he liked the way they played, or I think they were doing good when he was watching.
Probably that's what it is.
In their prime, so
yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
That's unfortunately why I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, because my parents both grew up in the 70s when the Cowboys were winning 3 Super Bowls, and they were always on TV.
Yeah.
And then you get born into that family, and you really just don't have a choice at that point. You
Right,
have to
yeah.
watch them, or you are exiled forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Love you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Now, back at Escondido High School, you played a little bit of third base in addition to spending time in the circle. How much more difficult is it to focus on being both a good hitter and a good pitcher?
Right. I definitely do miss the hitting aspect of it. I did that all my life. I was a pitcher and a hitter, but it is mentally tough on you, because you'll have to focus okay, at bat I have to do this, I have to do my job here, but you also have to do your job in the circle. So it's kind of it can be a lot sometimes. So I think that's why I'm more focused on pitching, because we don't have a huge pitching staff, so we need that.
And you guys also have a pretty good lineup. So
Right.
my question is, when are you going to make an appearance at the plate? Will that ever happen?
Honestly, I'm hoping next year it'll be a thing. It kind of started not hitting because of my wrist. It was kind of bugging me while hitting, so I kind of stopped there. But I'm hoping maybe in my career that I'll get a chance at the plate.
And if you do, I hope it's when I'm on the call, because that's going to be a lot of fun for me to get to have your first at-bat on the air. You made the All-GSAC team as a freshman last year for the Oaks. How cool was it to be on the team as a freshman, but also be joined by 3 other teammates, including Lauren Harrison, who's also from Escondido?
Right. It was a fun experience. I only came in knowing Lauren, which was a plus, because I was kind of nervous, I don't know who I'm gonna, who's in my grade. And so I just kind of went into it we'll see, and I end up loving the girls. They're all so fun. We're, the best of friends, and we get along so well. And, now Keely's our roommate. It's me, Lauren, and Keely, so we have a lot of fun.
You're in a triple on campus, or is it off campus?
No, it's on campus.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is some tight quarters.
Right, it is.
I never was in a triple. I was in a room that was supposed to be a triple, turned into a double, but I never had a triple. That is a lot of people in one room.
It is a lot. It's fun though.
So what's it like adding Keely to the mix now?
It's very loud. They're all very loud. Once they're all together, it's crazy. And right next to us is Regina and Ari and Caitlin, so...
Now that's loud.
Yeah, it's very loud.
Regina by herself, that's loud.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about your friends and the team a little bit here. The Oaks went up against some very tough competition 2 weeks ago in the form of Vanguard, ranked number 5 in the nation, and the Oaks forced a split. What were your takeaways from how good Vanguard is, but also how good you guys were able to force a split in that doubleheader?
Right, like you said, Vanguard is ranked 5, and I think us coming out how we did and so aggressively, I feel like it kind of proved we're just as good, If we come out and play our game, we're going to beat them. I feel the first game was a little bit, but we came out the second game ready to win, so...
I know that Vanguard has one of the best pitching staffs in the entire nation, if not the best. But the Oaks are able to really match Vanguard pitch for pitch. As a pitcher, how would you assess the job that you guys did keeping their bats off the base paths?
Vanguard's a pretty good hitting team, so I felt like we just focused on just one pitch at a time and focusing on that one pitch. And if we do our job that one pitch, then we'll be fine. And Lursa did an amazing job completing that game, so I'm so proud of her. I know she has, it's her freshman year, so the nerves are on. So I remember last year, being nervous coming in conference play, especially against Vanguard. So I think she did an amazing job coming in that game.
And she wound up winning Pitcher of the Week honors week number 2 in the GSAC. Now, last weekend you were supposed to go down south to play Antelope Valley and Hope International. Rain washed away both of those doubleheaders. So the first time you guys play Hope this year will be at home next weekend, senior weekend. How excited are you to not have to face them on the road the first time, but you get them in your yard?
Right. I think just us having the reps on this field, it is turf, it's way different than dirt. Dirt is coming from turf to dirt. It's a lot different, and I just feel we're ready for Hope. I mean, they've been doing pretty well this season, so we're just ready to come out and do what we can against them.
Yesterday, this interview being filmed on Wednesday, was Tuesday, and the Oaks had a doubleheader against William Jessup. Shelby Grafman in the circle for the Warriors. Yeah. Easily one of the best pitchers in the entire nation. You guys are down 4 runs in the second game.
Yeah.
You score 4 times in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Ariana Velarde, the walk-off hit in the 8th. What can you say about that comeback mentality and how just surreal it was to mount that kind of comeback against such an incredible pitcher?
I just think, it was the last inning. We're all just of course, guys, 2 outs and you guys score, the winning runs. And I just feel like that's what, our team is all about. We fight till the end, and I just feel like we have to kind of go at it all the time with that mentality, and we won't be in those situations, but they did such a great job during that pressure. And I know Regina came up with 2 outs and did her job, and it's just about passing the bat. So I think they did an amazing job coming back.
Regina doing her job in the cleanup spot for the first time in her collegiate career. I'm sure that was quite an experience for her. Now you have Easter weekend off in preparation for the final homestand of 2018. How big is this extra time off before you guys prep for the final push for the playoffs?
We haven't had a pretty long break in a while, and even our spring break we had to travel to Arizona, so we didn't really get a break there. And I just think having this rest is good for our bodies. I know a lot of us are hurting a little bit in some aspects, and just having that little rest to come back ready to play against the last couple teams.
All right, Victoria, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. Give me your best answers. Okay. Question number 1. Which teammate do you have the biggest beef with when it comes to sports teams?
I wouldn't say I have beef with any teams, because no one really likes the Chargers, and I would say they're not my favorite team. But I guess I could say the people that really are into football are Keely and Shiggy, but I think Keely is really big on it, and I feel if our teams were to play against each other, it would be pretty intense.
What's her team?
The Cowboys.
Yes!
Yeah.
So you'd have beef with me too.
Right.
Oh, this is awesome. Well, we got you guys last year by an index card.
You're right.
Do I need to bring that up?
No, it's okay.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Go Cowboys! Yeah. Number 2, which teammate is the worst prankster on the team?
I would have to say Brooke Minicini.
Really?
Yes, she likes to play this little game. She calls it, let's play a game. And if someone leaves, their whatever is ID, it's a lot of the times to Keely. Her water bottle, her ID, and so they kind of take pictures everywhere. It's kind of like a joke, oh, what are you doing, Keely, over here? What are you doing over here? So it's kind of funny for everyone to see, but I definitely think Brooke Minicini wins that.
Has she ever gotten you?
No. Never forget anything.
Until next week when you forget something, because you just said you never forget anything.
Exactly, knock on wood.
Yeah. And then question number 3, which teammate is most likely to hog all of the Easter eggs during an Easter egg hunt?
Oh, wow. The most competitive on the team are, of course, Brooke Minicini and Shiggy, but I feel that I remember last year we had the Easter egg hunt, and it was crazy. I don't even know what was going on. Brooke Minicini fell and slipped.
Oh, no.
It was crazy, but I definitely think I remember Shiggy going crazy and yelling and trying to get all the eggs she could. So I would say Shiggy.
Was this a team thing?
Yeah, it was a team
Okay, I didn't know if it was a campus-wide
No,
Easter egg hunt.
it was a team thing that we did a fun little thing that we did before we left.
So where were they all hid?
Around the softball field, like around all that area. So we had to go and find, like in the parking lot area all the way to like almost like all where the trees are and stuff. So it was fun.
Where was the toughest one hid? Do you remember?
I don't think I remember where the toughest one, but there was some pretty high, like some in the trees. Like, how did you get up there?
Because like Kristen's not that tall, so how is she going to get up there? And come to think of it, I mean, Helen wasn't that. I mean, she was taller, but she wasn't tall to reach up into a tree.
So I don't know how they got into the branch, or like kind of like the lower branch area, but yeah, still.
Is there going to be an Easter egg hunt 2.0?
I think there is.
Oh.
Stay tuned tomorrow.
Stay tuned. It's going to be tomorrow?
I think so. It might be tomorrow.
Great. I won't be here because I'm going to be in Oakland. What do you mean you knew I wasn't going to be there? If there's an Easter egg hunt, I'm going to find it.
Yeah, it was pretty low-key last year, so...
Well, you're lucky I won't be able to hog anything because I'm going to be in Oakland opening day for baseball.
Oh, wow.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
All right, Victoria, thanks for joining me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, folks. The softball team is off this weekend. I got baseball in the mind because I'm about to head out to baseball right now. Today is Wednesday, and the Oaks have a 3-game series out there. But the softball team, they will be at home next weekend, April 6th and April 7th, for the final time during the 2018 season. They host Hope International and Arizona Christian in a pair of doubleheaders. Noon start times out at Wonderlic Field for both of those. The final chance to see them at home during the 2018 season. We invite you to tune into next week's show, and Victoria Cervantes will select the next interviewee by me, Brian Brownfield, right here on Unrooted Softball Edition. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
All the trees I